this video, I'm going to talk about the reasons why some single mothers keep their children away from their fathers. Now, there may be no love lost between the parents, but I'm going to show why this is actually more damaging to the children than the mothers may think. If you're new to my content, I go by TSF. That sounds familiar. To those who've already subscribed, welcome back. Let's get some understanding. Now first, let us talk about the obvious and most common reasons they do this. It's because either the mother doesn't want anything to do with the father, or the father doesn't want anything to do with the mother. Whether this was a one-night stand, a casual fling, or even a long-term relationship, somewhere along the line, something went bad. Which is unfortunate, because now there's an innocent child involved. And let's be clear, the child is the only one in this scenario who is truly innocent. They say there's a thin line between love and hate, and that is so true. Take a look at this short clip.
My daughter's birthday party is today, and no, her father is not in. My daughter asked me again if she could call her father today on her birthday, and I told her absolutely not. This day is her day. It is his job to reach out to wish his daughter a happy birthday. As I said before, if he wanted to, he would. The crazy thing is, you will miss your daughter's birthday. You won't even call her, all because of the way you feel about me. And like I said before, my daughter is not begging for attention. She's not begging for affection. And she's not gonna beg anybody to love her. Now, she may not get this right now, but she will.
This situation is a perfect example of what's happening all over. She probably had big plans for her ex. Maybe she thought this would be her happy ending. Maybe she thought he would respond favorably after finding out that she's pregnant with his child. But his response was likely not what she had in mind. She went from sugar to shit just that quick. Notice how she says that her child's not begging for affection, not begging for the love of her father. But if you listen to the child's request, that's exactly what she's doing. And this is how it is with most children whose parents aren't together. They don't share the same vitriol that their mother does. At least they don't start out that way. The child wants to reach out. They want that connection because that connection is a part of who they are. Despite the way most women describe their children as my child, the father is equally a part of that child. There's no getting around that. Now, if the father voluntarily chooses not to be in the child's life, that's a separate issue, which I don't condone, by the way. If any man walks away from his responsibilities, he's trash, plain and simple. I don't care if the woman trapped him with a baby. It should have came quicker, no pun intended. Another common reason that mothers keep the father away from the child is because they say he may be a danger to the well-being of the child. In this instance, I would say that be the right thing to do. But who determines that? Who determines that a father who's actively trying to be in their child's life and trying to build a bond with them is at the same time a danger to them? Make that make sense. Because we know all it takes is an accusation of endangerment, even if it's unfounded. And the family courts, well, don't get me started on the family court system. That's a whole other video. But keeping a child away from the father for selfish reasons is nasty work. I say that because mothers sometimes use a child's naivete against them. You see, what some of these women bank on is that the child doesn't fully know what's going on. And for the most part, that's true. They start to understand that their dad lives in a different house and their parents argue when they see one another. Being kids, they don't have enough life experience to understand all the nuances of their broken family dynamic. But what they do have is a memory. Children remember everything you say and everything you do. And then when they gain more life experience and they begin to add 2 + 2 and it doesn't equal out to 4, Watch out. Some women feed their child a steady diet of negativity, talking down about the father and doing their best to convince them that the father doesn't care about them and doesn't want anything to do with them. But sometimes the children grow up and they realize what actually happened. How do you think a child is going to feel when they realize that they've been lied to their whole life about their father? That is time that they can't get back. Time in their formative years, no less, which is invaluable. They don't realize the damage they're doing to these children by depriving them of knowing themselves fully through knowing their father, because the consequences probably aren't until much later. But in the formative years, boys really need their fathers, and girls with daddy issues is a real thing. The fact of the matter is, there's context from her video that's missing. There's a whole other side of the story that's not being told. And when people don't want you to hear both sides, they're asking you to trust them that their side is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. What I've found in my years of living is that is rarely the case. What we usually find is that anything that casts them in a bad light gets omitted. Also, they might add other details that only serve to prejudice you against the other person because you don't have the full context. The mother might say, "I don't want anything from you," but then turn around and call the father a deadbeat. She might point out that if he wanted to pick up his daughter, he could, but not if he has a relationship with another woman that's going to be spending time with them. They know all the tricks to make things difficult, when in reality, they should be doing all they can to make that relationship easy. At the very least, don't throw up arbitrary and unnecessary roadblocks. Fathers, for their part, need to do everything they can to be involved in a child's life, even if you're not with a child's mother, even if there's animosity, even if she wants you to jump through hoops for the privilege. It's not all about your feelings anymore. It's about the well-being of your child. The formative years are when they need you most. For a son, he needs his father to look up to and to teach him how to come into his manhood at all stages. For a daughter, you will be her first and only example of genuine love from a man that doesn't want anything from her but the love and honor due a parent. Realize that your son or daughter's sense of identity and self-worth are tied up in their relationship with their father. So even if you have to jump through a few hoops to be involved, your child will appreciate that you did for their sake. For mothers, stop playing games. Raising a child is not a game, but one of the most important things that you will ever do in your life. Stop weaponizing the child against the father, because even though you will gain the advantage momentarily, you will ultimately be sending another fractured individual out into the world. So you don't like the father anymore. Get over it. You liked him enough to let him hit it raw without a second thought. Remember that thin line? It's not just between a father and a mother. Sometimes it's between a mother and a child as well. Now that we got some understanding, I'm about to get up through here on y'all. If you got value from this video, hit the like button. Let me know what you think in the comments. And subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Until next time.